Good morning and welcome to the AM News with me, Mapita Sibidi. Now, in our first story, the Director of Communications of the NPP, Yao Baobeng Asamoah, has criticized the outgoing Ashanti Regional Security Coordinator, DCOP Ayensu Opare-Addo, for going public about attacks on him. Now, Mr. Opare-Addo was allegedly attacked in his office by members of the pro-NPP vigilante group Delta Force, who are said to have hit him with the butt of an AK-47 assault rifle and forcibly shut his office. But at a news conference in Accra yesterday, Yao Baobeng Asamoah said Mr. Opare-Addo was embarrassing the party and the state.
Since the passage of the Vigilantism Act, there is nothing like Delta Force in our system. It's been disbanded. Whoever had control of it has disbanded it, and it doesn't exist. Now, the Ashanti Regional Security Coordinator, the gentleman who is the subject of this matter, ought to have left his office long before his contract has expired. He hasn't responded to any of the entreaties from his headquarters to move on. Not having responded, headquarters felt obliged to go and enforce his removal. Unfortunately, he didn't take kindly to it. He chose a very loud way of going about it, and it has embarrassed him. I think he should be embarrassed that this incident has happened. There's no way he can come out of this incident smelling good, because he has no basis for what he did, which is to oppose his office, to try and maintain himself in an office where his welcome had expired by law. Nobody who went there is from any other organization but the state. I want to make that very, very clear. Unfortunately, he didn't respond well to them, and it has led to this public situation that we have. It's unfortunate, but the embarrassment belongs to him. The embarrassment doesn't belong to the state. The embarrassment belongs to him because he chose to make a spectacle of himself when he ought to have left office at the right time.
But the approach, people have criticized the approach. Couldn't there be a better approach?
I like democratic growth. What is democratic growth? We learn from all that happens. Here is somebody who officially has received letters, officially has had correspondence, verbal as well, to leave office, and has refused flatly. Here is somebody who ought, perhaps, if he was not satisfied, to have come to his headquarters to inquire, or to wherever he felt he drew his strength from, to inquire about his status. He didn't. Now here is that same person who is in office and has resisted all formal means of getting rid of, to the point where now the state has to use minimum force. You know, the state is empowered to use minimum force to enforce the law. The state has to use minimum force to enforce the law. The state comes into your office and you are the first one to react. You are not polite to the state, and then you turn around and say the state was impolite to you.
Now, the Electoral Commission has announced an ambitious project of registering eligible voters all year round, announcing new proposals for future elections. Electoral Commission Chairperson Jean Mensa says they'll also be seeking to end voting at 3 p.m. instead of 5 p.m. so officials could finish counting the ballots early enough. The proposals were announced at a two-day election review workshop with political parties and other stakeholders, from where Kweku Asante reports.
The Electoral Commission is touting as a huge success its organization of the 2020 elections. Opposition NDC rejected the outcome of the election and even filed an election petition challenging the results, a petition the Supreme Court dismissed as meritless. At an EC IPAC review workshop, the Commission says its cost-effective decisions saved the country 522 million cedis.
As a nation, we succeeded in saving our dear country a whooping sum of 90 million United States dollars. That is 522 million Ghana cedis, at the time when the cost of elections world over keeps increasing. And mind you, these savings were achieved in spite of additional costs associated with the COVID-19.
EC Chairperson Jean Mensa also claims no cases of COVID-19 were recorded during the registration of voters and the exhibition of the voters' register.
As a country, we were able to undertake all our electoral processes, from the preparation of a brand new voters' register with over 17 million persons in 38 days, through to the exhibition of the register, to the filing of nominations, and to election day, without the spread of the COVID-19 virus. And indeed, no life was lost to COVID-19 as a result of our activities. We need to mark and document the fact that as a result of the stringent safety protocols put in place, the number of reported cases stood at 0 at the end of the registration exercise.
According to the EC, the last election was fully funded by the government without donor support. But there are those who have labeled the 2020 election as the most bloody after 7 people lost their lives across the country. The EC says it cannot be blamed for the violence.
Also is the violence that occurred in about 5 centers and which led to the death of 7 citizens of our dear country. I use this occasion to clarify that the Electoral Commission is not responsible for election security. We need to define clearly, without a shadow of doubt, whose responsibility it is to guarantee security on election day and to place the responsibility on their shoulders.
But for future election, the EC wants polls to close at 3 p.m. instead of 5 p.m.
We propose as a commission to close the polls at 3 p.m. rather than 5 p.m. Again, we propose to do away with the system of periodic nationwide registration exercises and institute an all-round system where citizens who turn 18 or persons who have not previously registered may visit any district's office in Ghana with their Ghana card or passport and register as voters.
This 2-day election review, according to the EC, will allow it to improve future elections together with stakeholders. 8 political parties, including the NPP, were present, but conspicuously missing was the largest opposition, the NDC. The party claims the electoral management body rigged the 2020 election and will be reviewing its working relationship with the EC.
Away from that, a final year JHS student of the Miracle Education Academy in the Sunyani municipality of the BONO region has been found dead in what the police suspect to be a case of suicide. 14-year-old Letitia Pinaman was found hanging from the ceiling in the school's dining hall Monday night. A note found at the scene reads in part, "This world is full of sorrow and pain and I can't live anymore." Now, it is not immediately known what led to the incident, but it happened while the rest of her colleagues were at the church auditorium for Bible studies. Precious Semavo visited the school and now reports.
This is where 14-year-old Letitia Pinaman, a JHS 3 student of Miracle Education Academy at BARKONIABA in Sunyani, allegedly hanged herself. She is described by her friends and teachers as a calm and brilliant student who tops her class. The house mistress, Giftia Champon, explains she was at the kitchen working on food for the student when her colleagues, who returned from Bible studies to eat at the dining hall, drew her attention to the incident.
I came to the kitchen to come and see how things are moving with the food. About 5-10 minutes, the Bible studies was over, and I saw the kids coming out in their numbers straight to the dining hall. So as I saw them come, I said, okay, then let me get the food ready for them. So on my way of preparation, I heard them shouting, "Auntie, Auntie, Letitia, Auntie, come and see Letitia." So I asked them, what is wrong with Letitia? All that they can do was screaming and shouting. So I rushed to the dining hall, and as I got there, she has hanged herself. She's a final year student. And with her, she's like a calm, brilliant, I think she even topped the class.
Cindy Chreme is her colleague and friend. She said her brilliant friend was moody on the day of the incident, but she failed to open up despite all attempts they made.
Letitia is a person who doesn't want to share her emotional feelings with anybody. She wants to keep things to herself. She wants to find her own solution to her problems. Yesterday, she was in class. They rang the bell for breakfast. She didn't come out, so I decided not to talk. First break, I asked her, let's go and eat. She said she won't eat, so I personally came out to buy food for her. She didn't eat, and later on I saw her eating and I said that's fine. But I didn't talk to her. She was there sitting, putting her head on the table. Teachers were asking, "Teacher, why?" She said nothing. The teacher called her 3 times. She didn't go. So closing, she just went to the dormitory. We have something. I said, Tewe. She responded, Tewe. So let's go to church. She said she's coming, so I'll come and meet her. So we came, we were all here. All of a sudden, I didn't know what happened. I didn't even see her coming out. I used to share food for them. After church service, they said I should serve the children. So one girl just shouted, and I said, Kezia, why? She said I should come out and see. And I also called her house mistress. The boys were even there. They saw she was just hanging there.
The house mistress also said they found a note on a table at the scene, adding they, especially the family, are yet to come to terms with the situation.
There was a table very close to her. There was this note on it, Finland's like she's not happy. This word is full of sorrow and pain. She can't live anymore. She wants to die. She's sorry to the mother and the father and her teachers and friends.
Was it her handwriting?
That one, like the police is just to find out. They have come for it and they are on it. The parents, like, what I can say is, it's not easy for them. They are finding it difficult to accept it that the daughter committed the suicide.
The head of security at the school, Christopher Tewia, said it is not easy for an outsider to have access to the school. The Sunyani Divisional Crime Officer, DSP Kingsley Redu, confirmed the incident to JoyNews as investigation continue. For JoyNews, Precious Semevo, Sunyani.
Away from that, residents of Srekpe and surrounding communities in the central Tongu district of the Volta region are compelled to share the same water sources with animals. Now, this is due to the inability of the central government to provide these communities with potable water, thereby putting their well-being at risk. The development is affecting the education and livelihoods of residents in the affected communities. JoyNews' Fred Kwame Asari visited the community and filed the following reports.
Srekpe is an agrarian community in the central town district of the Volta region where residents survive on gari production. Every household here engages in the age-old profession which drives the local economy. However, Srekpe and its surrounding communities lack access to potable water. A borehole constructed in the community by the former MP Joe Gidisu in 2012 is faulty, hence unable to produce water.
This pipe-borne water here, this one is provided for us since 2012 by Honorable Joe Gidisu. And we are utilizing it as at last year before it got spoiled. So since then, we don't have any water in the community again.
Due to this, the residents had to fall back on 2 dams in the area, which is about 2 kilometers away from the community. Unfortunately, they had to share the water sources with animals. Not less than 6 herds drink from the dams daily. These residents were unlucky, hence would have to fetch muddied water because they got to the dam at the same time when the last herd arrived to quench their thirst after grazing in the field. We use the same water the animals drink, urinate and defecate in, but it is the grace of God that is keeping us alive. The water government officials use to flush their toilets is more better than what we rely on here. We are calling on President Akufo-Addo, his minister and especially our central town DCE, Thomas Mozonya, to come to our aid. She's run by when you're being a corner of Damian or Mogaka. Nipo a Shialako. Ba, having yours to talk about your top, but I just spoke by Miller. Or having your hand, you do Robin, and I'm not having tears by me way. I come in on more corner shop with me, a Shalaka Pomo. You send your show at our book, you said just to order me. So put your mug up, watch you.
Nyaga Miss Morga Coach, I've been at the view, I school, I got to school back uncle. Go you say teachers or the very how would you have both of you? Tower be me football. And me away call Ali, you Marality, and Emile Sajan,
The tricycle guys are selling the water at 1 Ghana cedis per gallon. The ladies engaged in the Gary business spend about 300 Ghana cedis in water every month. They lamented that people who engage in the water selling business have informed them of price hikes due to the increase in petroleum products and circumstances around the dam. The lack of potable water is not only affecting the education of the younger generation, but also has a toll on the local economy, which has Gary production as its nerve. Almost every household in Srekpe and its surrounding communities engage in Gary processing. They are forced to use the dam water to wash the cassava before processing.
Let me talk Galena Galip Lava, Obi Galion Kumano, or Toshi Mikola Bele Club, Bonnet Club Bele or Yibo. Yet I'm Yajak Balemian Timiotra Patomila Fupancho.
The residents are hopeful completion of the 5-district water supply project would bring an end to their water plights. We are appealing to the government to extend water supply from Ajidome to our communities so we can get good water to drink. However, they would have to wait for about 2 years for this to manifest, since phase 3 of the project, which involves the main distribution, has just started. The water system, which is engineered to serve Central Town, Agotime, Adaklu, North Town districts and parts of the whole municipality, is already serving some 116 communities. Charles Ejei is the manager of the 5-district water supply project.
Srekpe area all the way to Buti, Akachi Road, those areas are all covered in the phase 3. Communities in all those places will be supplied by the time this phase is done. So the people of Srekpe should be, encouraged that such a project is under implementation right now. The project is a 2 years period with 1 year defect liability period. We started in November 2020 and November 2023 will be when we will have completed the project. So within this span, Srekpe will have potable water flowing, 24/7.
The residents learning of this are calling on philanthropic organizations to come to their aid within the shortest possible time. Fred Kwame Asai, JoyNews, Srekpe.
Jubilant supporters from Drobo Senior High School besieged the Sunyani Technical University auditorium after their school successfully qualified to the finals of this year's National Science and Maths Quiz in Accra. They beat Salvation Army SHS and Winchi SHS by 39 points to advance to the next stage of the competition. But this mood is in sharp contrast to what their contestant Daniel Busu felt while on stage. He says he had to say silent prayers while on stage to be able to overcome his stage fright.
Okay, so the second day of qualifiers in the BONO cluster of regions, and this school all the way from the BONO region has qualified for the national stage. Drobo Senior High School, Drosek as they are called. Drosek. 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 Okay, congratulations guys. How does it feel? I'm not seeing any lady here. Why? Is your school a boys' school? Come. The ladies come here. Why are you hiding? Great. How do you feel about your win today?
I feel great.
Okay. You feel great. Just great. Do you think that you're going to win?
Yeah.
What made you think that you're going to win?
Everything.
Everything like what? Tell me. What?
Like we are ready. We are ready for it. So, and we've had it.
Okay,
yeah.
You're ready for it and you've had it. What about you?
Oh, we will win. We will win.
You have won the first one. You won by 39 points. Do you think that this is what you were expecting to get?
No, we expect to get high. So we will win the next time.
You win again the next time. Let me bring Danny. Danny, come closer. Congratulations. You're on the stage. I saw you answering the questions quite intelligently and all that. What was going through your mind on stage?
Okay, nothing was disturbing me, but at the beginning it was the crowd that was putting much fear on me. But when we finished the first round, I was able to overcome that.
Okay, so you initially had stage fright, correct?
Yeah.
But how did you handle it?
I just pray.
Okay.
Pray silently to the Almighty, and He did that.
So silent prayers on the stage, that's your magic trick that you did on stage to win?
Yeah.
Your partner used to come closer. What's your name?
Your boy Atechi Milfred.
Okay, your boy Atechi. Tell me, what does this win mean to you?
So we put more things in place in our learning or studying. So that is the reason why we are able to win this contest.
Okay, so what does it mean to you? Are you excited about the win? What are you going to do differently as you go into the championship and even into the national tournament?
Very excited, and
more than excited.
Yeah, more than excited, and we will put things well in order to prepare for the next contest and the national.
What should we expect from you?
The best.
Apart from the best, because everybody's saying that expect the best from me, expect the best from me. Since yesterday we were in the BONO region, everybody's saying expect the best from me. What is really different about the best we should expect from you?
So the great things that we do. Okay. We do wonders.
You do wonders?
Yes.
Okay, Drosek. 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 They say we should expect the best from them. These are the guys from Drobo Senior High School, and they have won the very first contest on the second day. Wish them all the best. Be bringing you more as we move on.
Let's embrace Drosek in fraternity.
And that's how we end the AM News with me, Mapisa Sibili. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. The AM show continues with Benjamin.
Thank you very much for staying with us up to this point. It's time for the news review, and I have a big surprise. It's not the papers, no. It's Bernice Abubeidu-Lanza. Good morning.
Good morning. It's been a long time I appeared on the AM show. It's good to be here, watching from afar. You guys are doing a great job.
You know, since I came into this setup, I've never done this with you, so I'm actually excited.
I am excited too.
Hey, thank you so much for joining.
Pleasure.
Let's start with the headlines from today's papers. Maybe before that, though, I just think this one might sink in. Naomi Campbell at 50.
Yes, I saw that story yesterday and I was so excited, you know, because I was like, ooh, nobody saw this coming, did we? But I just love the fact that it tells you that, look, women can be what they want to be and do what they want to do in their own time. Don't be rushed, ladies. Just take your time.
Say what? Say anything can happen. You know, that reminds me, the bit you just shared, I'm going to do this for the sake of, those watching us. Sometimes we don't have to be so serious. Yesterday, I shared something, and it simply says, getting your first degree after 21 is still an achievement. Being married after 30 is still beautiful. Starting a family after 35 is still possible. Buying a house after 40 is still a boss move. Don't let people rush you with their timelines.
I know.
So I guess Naomi has just shown it to all of us at 50. But what people are asking now, I don't think it's pertinent though, but people are asking, was it a surrogate? Who is the man and all of that? Or maybe no be so.
He has a child.
All right, let's check out the headlines. Would you like to start with
let me
Daily Guide?
start with what I have on the front page of the Daily Guide. Cancel Africa's debts. Akufo-Addo pushes. I know that the president is, visiting some European countries. He was in France. And on the front page of the paper, he's sandwiched between Emmanuel Macron and his wife. And the president is attending that summit. We'll bring you more on that. Details of that story on page 3. And I'll ensure religious tolerance. And this is coming from the Attorney General to, he's with the National Chief Imam. And this is in relation to all the news we've been hearing. And this very, very sad one I saw yesterday on social media, Benjamin, about a young senior high school girl who allegedly committed suicide. And the pictures were so sad to watch. Sometimes I wonder what happened to our, our sensibilities. Look, yes, the girl has hanged herself, but you have to come and show us a picture of the young girl being, pulled down. I just thought that was...
her body getting stiff already and all of that. I felt it was
terrible.
But terrible. When from time to time, we see this. This isn't the first time. Look at the last decade or two. The sort of number of young people we've seen committing suicide, penning notes, some of them. I'm just wondering, are we paying attention to something like depression? It's real. And I've heard people say that this is the most depressed generation. Look, some of us, our upbringing, it was so can't in certain ways. People see us and they think, Charlie, what we went through. So some things emotionally may not shake you like that. But the youth of today, they're going through so much. And I don't know whether they are prepared
and the other
for
thing
it. And the least thing, they get depressed.
And no, but also the thing is that because we know that young people, especially, you know, getting to your adolescent stage, there are a lot of things that happen to you. And let's be honest, the past year and even this year, I mean, everything has been unexpected. Even for we as adults, we are trying to cope with the times, dealing because
COVID is a source of depression.
You're listening to all the news of people dying, and it's even for adults, it's difficult. I hear this lady left a note that said, I've got she says, I have serious pain, I mean deep pain and sorrow. Who knows what it was? But here's my point, and I keep saying this, that because we know that young people especially go through all the changing phases and all the emotional and psychological issues, we decided that every high school should have a counseling department. Are they functioning?
What happened to that? Look, even in the tertiary institutions, let's not even come to secondary level. The tertiary institutions, what is happening there? Because for someone like this, it could have just taken one person asking, hey, you don't look okay. What is going on with you? For her to just vent. And you know, it's just like that. Sometimes you just have to let go of the stuff, but they keep it inside. No one asks. That poor youth or something is thinking, no one cares anyway. And I mean, we're not trying to say this is what happened, but
yeah, I
really
mean, it brings to mind the state of our counseling departments in high schools and all the other, you know, systems, social systems that should support people who go through some of these things, okay? So you go to a place like Konfanoche, and sometimes you wonder, you know, if that, and the Konfanoche Psychiatry Department serves the whole of the Ashanti region. And even though some of these things must be given to clinical psychologists, the psychiatrists have to bear the burden because we don't even have enough clinical psychologists. So it's just too much. And I was very disturbed by this story myself, Benjamin. But what do you have in the Daily Graphic?
Well, I'll just react to a bit of what you said about resetting the rules for Africa's development. The story is in here as well. But look, the IMF and the World Bank, I'm thinking about the Achampong era, for example, when we said Yentia, during the Achampong era. The IMF and World Bank leaders within 2 weeks had left Ghana. Okay, let's face it, people have said that the interests of the Bretton Woods institutions may not necessarily be our interest or in our interest. I mean, which country has really relied on these institutions and broken out of their economic downturns or whatever? Yes, they may be helping, but it must be homegrown. Now, why I want to focus on it, yesterday I was listening to Dr. Mensah Otabil on Joy. And he mentioned that just like with Isaac and Jacob, you know, sometimes you must become restless to break the yoke, you know, to break the yoke. Esau, I meant. And I don't think we've become restless enough. I don't think we've become restless enough. So basically, I think that if we get to that point where we feel leadership feels, look, we can get past this, we must do the right things, we'll get there. It's not about telling people to cancel your debt. How much of the debt will they cancel? But let's do the Daily Graphic now. And some other tricky matter that has got a lot of people talking. Decongestion. Unauthorized structures go down in Accra. So in the thick of things there, Henry Quarter, the regional minister, there's the municipal chief executive, Nia J. Teria, AMA chief, Mr. Mohammed Ajay Sowa, and others. And the exercise, we all know, commenced from the UTC market on the Kwame Nkrumah Avenue through to the Farisco area along the Graphic Road to the Obechabe Lamte interchange and was highly patronized. You know, my takeaway from this, well, they recovered some land and according to the minister, plans are underway to ensure that the recovered land is put to good use to beautify the capital. But did you see the traders along that stretch who were begging, imploring the president and leaders that, you know, we voted for you and we did this and we did that? My question is, if not now, then when? If not us, then whom? We keep saying this, and I'll go back to something I shared yesterday. Former president of Luxembourg and the European Commission, Jean-Claude Juncker, he says, it's not that politicians don't know what to do, but they don't know whether they will get re-elected after they've done what they have to do. I guess that's a major problem for them, major hurdle.
Yeah. And I think for this government led by President Akufo-Addo, that should not be a worry. But they're trying to break the jinx. I'm talking about the issue of they being re-elected. We know that the president, as an individual, per our constitution, cannot run for the presidency again. But the NPP will still want to be in power. But like you ask, do we have the will to do this? Because some of these things, and you know what, the story is captured on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. And when I read the headline, what I just said to myself was, I hope we don't have people who are going backdoor, speaking to some MCE, some MP.
I can almost bet there will be
trying to say, please, don't do this. If it must be done, we should do it. So that, in the next 5 years, we will see this country and be proud of what we've made it.
We could actually make Accra a cleaner city, like we've.
Definitely.
But you see, the other side is, if you move them, these are COVID times, and this is their source of livelihood. What are the alternatives? Where are you moving them?
Well, we are told that there are markets available for them, but they keep coming onto the streets because sometimes people just don't want
to go into the purpose? Sometimes you look at the markets and they are not fit for purpose.
That's a discussion for another day.
Well, very quickly through I think the style we're adopting this morning would mean that we review as we go along. So UK returns $5.8 million stolen by ex-governor to Nigeria. And this was recovered by UK agencies. The sum was stolen by a Nigerian former governor and laundered in Britain. It's now being returned. It includes, he stole an estimated $165 million from the oil-rich state, including a Bombardier Challenger jet, and $4.2 million was recovered from Ibori's wife, sister, and fiduciary agent. We need stuff like this to happen in Ghana.
What's happened to him now? I want to know. Is he being prosecuted?
So I guess he was convicted in 1991 for stealing from the store, but then returned to Nigeria, got involved in politics. He evaded capture in Nigeria, and he was convicted on 10 counts of fraud worth a total of nearly $50 million in 2012.
Okay.
We need stuff like this to happen in Ghana. I'm not saying that anybody is corrupt, but we've had instances in the past. I don't want to mention names. What has happened to all of those people? On page 9, migrants reach Spain's Ceuta enclave in record numbers. Why I mention this, a lot of Africans are always in that mix, Ghanaians as well. But are you getting your second shot anytime soon?
Haven't received a text message yet.
I have not received a text message, but according to the date structure, so I got mine on March the 3rd. So today, I'm due, and I will be going to my center, which is pretty close. And with my card, of course, you must bear your card.
But we are being told that you're going to give new cards, which have enhanced features. So I don't know if they're going to do a swap for those who have already
I suppose so.
All right, okay.
Well, even if not a swap, they're going to add on. But, it's important you bring that up because eventually there also have been suggestions that maybe in the very close future, if you were traveling, you might need some of these things to show that, well, you've got 2 doses of your COVID-19 jab. That's it with the Daily Graphic newspaper. Maybe you can blaze through.
All right, quickly, the front page of the Ghanaian Times, youth demand for AstroTurf soar as Wembley constructs 10 new facilities. And we know this is happening in many constituencies across the country. And EC proposes electoral reform to improve upon future elections. Comes along with a photo of the EC chairperson, Jean Mensah. I don't know how the parties are going to react to this, especially the NDC. But efforts to save water bodies, government to dredge Parikesi and Owabi rivers. That one you did earlier on the massive demolition exercise in Accra. Unauthorized structures along ceremonial roads removed. And this one, 3 suspected kidnappers arrested. And I don't know the kind of friends you have on social media, Benjamin, but I, for the past 2 months, see a lot of posters of missing persons.
I've been seeing them too.
And it's really getting worrying for me because I don't know, and we may have to ask the police if the numbers have just changed or the methods. What I'm trying to say is that, is it that we are recording higher numbers of missing persons? Or people are just now, going to social media to announce the cases of missing persons?
I've always seen these things on social media, but I agree with you. In recent times, I've seen a sort of growth in the numbers that I'm seeing. And sadly, some of those, you remember the 4-year-old girl who was found, days after with her throat slit. So It's becoming, nowadays, I mean, when you hear of a missing person, your heart jumps because you're wondering what could have happened.
Alive or not?
Is it a ritualist who has, you know, nabbed this person?
It's really, really sad. But well, the police said they've arrested some 3 suspected kidnappers. And 2021 population and housing census commences June 28. And this on the back page. And this one, which is very worrying, Benjamin. Tema General Hospital in drastic shortage of blood due to COVID-19 outbreak. And about 2 weeks ago, I went to the Ridge Hospital, which is one of our biggest referral facilities in Accra. In fact, it is the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. That's what it is. And it has a tertiary status hospital. And when Dr. Srekpe, who is the medical director of the facility, opened the fridge, my heart sank. Benjamin, look, I'm not exaggerating, but I was totally shocked. I couldn't count 5 pints in the fridge. And you have accident victims.
The Ridge Hospital actually has one of the worst rates currently when it comes to blood
and it's the same thing the Tema General Hospital is recording. So I don't know, please guys, look. For some of us, in my church, for example, every year we did about 3 blood donation exercises, but because of COVID, we can't all gather. So I'd just like to encourage all of you who were participating in such exercises from your workplace or your church. You can actually just walk into these facilities and say, look, I want to donate some blood, okay? I went to pick up a friend at the 37 last week, and she was delaying, and she quickly rushed, you know, after a while and said, I'm sorry, an RTA case was brought, as a road traffic accident case was brought, and I had to issue blood, so that's why I delayed. And she said the doctor was running. God bless you all doctors who do so much to save lives. She said, look, when the doctor came, he was so desperate to get blood. The difficult thing was this person was O negative. And like that's rare. So
and that's the issue with some of us. Sometimes it's difficult. I am O positive. In fact, I donated blood only last Sunday. And you know what? It's on the back of, it had been a while. It was on the back of a lady on, I think, the Pulse, who came from the Greater Accra Regional Hospital and spoke about the fact that they have 20 to 25% of their blood needs. What does that mean? 75% of cases that come to them would mean that if you need blood, you likely would die. And I am O positive, at least quite a number of those in the blood group can use mine. So in church on Sunday, I just said, what the heck? They checked me, I was good to go. I did it. And I think I am committing that every 4 months, because you can do it every 4 months. It's dire. So look, if you can, you are healthy, you don't have any diseases that would strike you out, go and donate, because it could be you, yourself, it could be your relative.
I know, right? Because this road traffic accident victim, I'm sure the person is thinking, well, why would I need blood? I'm not going to surgery, I'm not pregnant, blah, blah, blah. But here you are involved in an accident, and they need blood to save your life. It was critical. Guys, I mean, we can't stress this enough. Please, if you can, just donate blood to save a life.
Let me highlight this on page 9 of the final newspaper. From accountant to mushroom queen, Ghanaian woman rakes in fortune over people's appetite. I just wanted to cite this because, look, sometimes we're so, Miko school, then I'm accountancy. So, look, I often share with people, my background has nothing to do with journalism. But Ejako Nimo here doing his thing. So let's all, especially in these COVID times, we need to adapt very quickly to do something. I think that will be it for the final.
Okay, quickly, let me just do the front page of the Daily Dispatch. Government official dares Extra Mining Limited to go to court. And you know that statement that was released, the company saying it wasn't involved in illegal mining, but some of its excavators were burnt. Well, government says, sure, you can go to court if you think that we perpetrated an illegality. But Baumia should be MPP's 2024 flag bearer. That's Professor Michael Quay. Security is not EC's job, but life should never be lost in an election. Jean Mensah, finally, we hear something from the EC about the lives lost during the elections. But I don't know. What do you make of this statement? Security,
what do I make of it? I think some of what she says, for example, she says, I think they are blanket statements. The EC did a good job, very good job in the last election. Of course, there are other problems, but you can't say that when you are at the helm of affairs conducting an election, certain things that happen simply because per the Constitution, they did not directly lie under your purview, that they had nothing to do with you. It could be certain processes that led to those incidents, which you could be. But let's leave it at that. Something she says, for example, that no one contracted COVID-19 on the back of, queuing and all. I mean, per which statistics? Who did the analysis? So some of these things are a bit difficult to swallow, but I think by and large, they did a good job. They deserve their commendation.
All right, and this one, Galamsey has reduced Ghana Water Company Limited's capacity for safe water from 4 million gallons of water to 1 million in Obuasi. Guys, look, and for those of you who think that, we are just doing
They think it's again, a joke. We're making too much noise.
Look. For the past few months, I've struggled to access water through my taps. I have to pay.
For you, the few months? It was over a year for me.
I have to pay. Sometimes when they come and they're like, oh, we've increased it because we didn't get water. We had to go, farther. So we have to pay for fuel cost and all that. And I'm like, look, I'm just paying so much for one tanker to fill my poly tank when I could use that same amount to pay for the whole month of water from Ghana Water Company Limited. You get what I mean? Yeah. So please, for those of you who think that this Galamsey thing, Safoseni said on the Express, and don't let us politicize this thing. Let's look, just like the structures cited in, unauthorized places and all
waterways and all.
Let's deal with our problems once and for all and make this country. I hear stories. My aunties, my mother tells me of how the bus used to come at a certain time. You couldn't leave rubbish here. The town council will come, and I'm excited that wow, Ghana used to be like this.
The question is, what happened?
If we have the capacity, let's go back.
We happened. Well, we have to wrap, but the Republic Press this morning, maybe before I get to that, just this headline. Newborns to get Ghana card in a month. In a month, newborns are to get that. Let's see how that goes. Republic Press, I just want us to discourse on this matter and then go online. DCOP Opariado was sacked, National Security Boss insists. But does it justify in any way what happened to him? Now, totally, it's been... What happened to him is being discounted, totally. And I'm asking myself, okay, are we saying this did not happen at all, that the man just came and lied to all of us? I don't know what your take is, Bernice. We could wrap up.
I just wanted to say something, then I remembered my sister. It was just funny, But Benjamin, I don't know why we try to justify some of these things. I don't know why, Benjamin. I think that we should get to a point where we are people of principle. Okay, so Benjamin, it doesn't matter if you're my friend. As a matter of principle, I do not accept people being treated like they're animals, or people being disrespected. It's my principle. So if you are my friend, or even my mother or my father, I must be a person of principle and tell you, look. But it appears that in this country, people choose what to defend depending on whether they like the party in power or not. And
it depends on where they lie on the political spectrum. I mean, we heard Yawabena Samoa, Director of Communications of the party, say he is shaming the party and this government has been good to him and all of that. Look, what does that have to do with if I feel there has been an illegality?
And this is not the first time this is happening.
It's the second time in the same
region. Look, and I'm like, Benjamin, this, I don't know for the life of me why anybody would want to defend this. And we must see the president, we must see the presidency take a stance on this matter. Because, when things like this happen and they are silent, I kind of feel they embolden. They embolden such people.
And one takeaway for me as we wrap, the bit about, the Delta Forces doesn't exist, but some of them could have been incorporated into national security, and that these bodies have every right to get some of these people in there. And I'm thinking...
In that way? Is that how...
And you know what other people have said? If you do it, then the next party also comes to power and wants to get their people in to equal the equation. Well, that's all time will allow us to actually do. The conversation continues. But coming up next is Sports Tuesday.
Hello, good morning and welcome to AM Sports on AM Show. I am Muftau Nabila Abla. We are sharing stories with you ranging from the Ghana rugby team, which is currently preparing for its upcoming Rugby Africa Cup later this year. And we also have highlights of how Brighton were able to come back to beat Manchester City by 3-2, and also Chelsea boosting their chances of finishing in the top 4 of the English Premier League. But first of all, let's do rugby, where some members of the Ghana rugby national team have eulogized suspended president of the Rugby Football Union, Herbert Mensah, for his enormous support over the years, despite administrative issues which saw the accounts and other assets of the union frozen. Herbert provided financial aid for the team to train ahead of the Rugby Africa Championship. My colleague Asari Bediako was at their training grounds and filed this report.
Mission Kampala has begun in earnest.
Get up, Prince, faster. Listen, your legs are too slow. You have to react faster, faster, faster. React, Prince. Get up, Prince. Get up. You need your stance on the ground. You need your stance on the grass. Your stance down. Now get up. Pump, 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 pump. Pump yourself up. Pump yourself up. Pump yourself up, Prince. Pump yourself up. Push, 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 Prince. You are there. You are there. Now go up, go up, go up, go up. Go up, Prince. Go up. Go up. Take it up, take it up. Hold down, Prince.
The Ghana rugby football team are leaving no stone unturned in their preparation for this year's Africa Cup, which comes off in Uganda. The Eagles lock horns with the host nation on July 10 and go head-to-head with Algeria. 8 days later, the best two teams make it to the 2022 Rugby Africa Cup, which serves as qualification to the 2023 Rugby World Cup. The Eagles are in high spirits and focused on their training regime despite the recent developments in Ghana rugby. Here is Yaya Lukman, a key member of the team.
From today, we forget those things. We focus on our goal. Right now, as we are standing right now, we focus on our goal, and we want those noise to disappear, and we will prove them wrong. Because right now, as things are going right now, is only one person that is still behind us, which is Mr. Herbert Mensah. The Ghana Rugby bank account has been locked, but still we are here. He's pushing with his own money, and we are still going forward. And we will prove people wrong. What people are thinking about him, or those people that stay away or turn their back on him, like we will just prove them wrong. We are here, we are training. If things were going wrong with Herbert Mensah, like we won't be here today and be training. So everything is okay with us.
Lavmo Kuzurera has been in charge of the Eagles since 2016. The astute trainer from Zimbabwe is grateful to President of Ghana Rugby, Herbert Mensah, for his support.
As a coach, we have had everything that I requested for. You know, when you go to a country here in Africa, it's difficult. That when you request for something, there will always be some problems. Oh, we don't have money, we don't have this, we can't afford to do that. But every request that I have done as a coach of equipment, some that even came from UK, to some that even came from South Africa, everything that I have needed as a coach to make sure this team goes forward, I've always received it in time. So it's the same thing that's the key thing. If you have an administrator that supports the vision of the coach and what you want to achieve, that's the best thing you can get in this world. You can't get that in any African country. No matter even if you go to where I come from in Zimbabwe or in Namibia, it's difficult to get somebody who can actually finance something to that level. We are competing with bigger teams, not because of anything else, but because of the support. If you are a coach and you get the right equipment, the right resources that you want on the field, you succeed.
Let's go to the training grounds right now and speak to acting president James Nunu, who is at the training grounds of the team as they prepare for the tournament. Mr. Nunu, we have been at the training grounds and you are currently there. What have the players been telling you? Hello, Mr. Nunu, can you hear me? Kindly unmute.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes, please.
I
asked what the players have been telling you. Good morning to
your cherished listeners. Let me make a little correction here. I am not the acting president. I am the vice president and the acting CEO and the acting chairman of the board. Herbert Mensah still remains the president of Ghana Rugby until we go to SGM. it is there that a decision will be taken. So we are managing the situation as it is now, hoping that we'll be able to resolve it before we go to the SGM. At the SGM, that is the highest decision-making body, and a final determination will be made on that. So I am not the acting president. I am the vice president, the acting CEO, and the acting board chairman.
Okay, but in your statement released earlier this month, you had said that in the absence of Herbert Mensah, you were going to step in as the head of the Ghana Rugby Football Union. And you clearly in that statement stated that the work of Herbert Mensah is admirable and he has laid a proper foundation for continuity. So what is the difference between acting CEO, acting head of the board, and acting president? The CEO and the board chairman is the leader of the association. He takes the day-to-day decisions of the association. That is the difference. Okay.
The
so that point has been clearly made.
Position.
Okay, that point has been clearly made.
Yeah.
Now let's come and speak about your presence at the training grounds and what the players have been telling you.
Well, we came to the training ground to have a tete-a-tete with them and to assure them that Ghana Rugby will not collapse. Ghana Rugby will continue to stand as the strong foundation that has been laid by all of us, including myself, the board, and which was led by Mr. Herbert Mensah. We are focused. We are going to make sure we build on whatever we've done so far. So we came here to have a tete-a-tete with them and also make a small presentation to them. As we speak, we are bringing them some drinks and then water to make as a refreshment for their training. So basically, we are here to assure the players, assure the coaches, and assure everybody who is involved in Ghana Rugby.
Talking about assurance, one interesting thing about Ghana Rugby at the moment is that the assets, the accounts, everything is frozen. So if you are there to throw your weight behind them and these accounts are frozen, these assets are frozen, how do you help these people, provide them the financial aid to have the preparations they've been having for like almost 2 weeks now?
Yeah, there are so many ways to kill a cat, my brother. There are so many ways to kill a cat. And I believe with or without that account, Ghana Rugby will be financed. And like I said earlier, we are still talking. And when the dust is settled, we'll be able to access that account and everything will go on smoothly.
Okay, so my final question before I let you go. Yesterday, you and your leadership had a meeting with the National Sports Authority. And in that meeting, you were seeking the way forward in terms of the brouhaha surrounding the leadership. Tell us, what are some of the things that can be put in the public domain in terms of your meeting with Professor Peter Chumesi, the Director General of the National Sports Authority?
Very well. We were invited by the good old professor to have a tete-a-tete with us, and then knowing what is going on in the media, he wanted to listen from us. So we met him, and he encouraged us to do the right thing, not to go to the media and be spewing things that are not that will defame individuals or defame the club. So basically, he advised us that if we are doing anything, we should make sure that there are rules and regulations. We have a constitution that we are following, so that if anything, the Congress is the highest decision making. So when we get there and then we take that decision, fine. But as it stands now, we should make sure that the right things are done. In fact, it was an advisory kind of conversation, basically.
Okay, we appreciate your time. Enjoy your time with the players. Just as you mentioned, Ghana Rugby will not collapse. So the contribution of you and many others that are involved in Ghana Rugby Football Union will ensure that there's success as you build up to have a very strong participation in the upcoming Rugby Africa Cup. Thank you very much for your time. Now, let's move on now and do some story that has to do with capacity building of clubs in the country. Policy and evaluation analyst at the Ministry of Youth and Sports, Alhaji Adams, has advised clubs in the country to position themselves in a manner to attract corporate support. Speaking at the maiden edition of Asampa FM's branding and marketing training for elite football clubs in the country, Mr. Adams admonished clubs to win confidence from the public.
The clubs must build and sustain strength, resilient, and time-tested internal structures and mechanisms to enhance investor confidence. Many of our clubs are not corporate in nature. They are usually run by individuals or set up by few close associates. As a result, many of these clubs do not have the necessary built-in structures and mechanisms such as proper accountability systems and shareholding structures. They are simply quite close for external investment. In some cases, the governance and administration of the clubs does not conform fully to modern football administration practices. Even though these clubs are expected to be regulated, most of them fail to comply with these basic practices. When these things are put in place, investment in football by corporate Ghana will not be much of a challenge.
Well, thank you for staying with us. Wednesdays are for business, and that's how we start the talk segment of the show. Now, ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development has lent $50 million to the Consolidated Bank of Ghana. This is to commemorate the line of credit agreement signed by both banks on the 17th of May, 2021. Joy Business Editor Odilia Ntiamwa sat with the president of the EBID, Dr. George Ajikum Donko, who says this is a step to strengthen ties with countries under the body.
I'll be delving into issues relating to how much money they have given to Ghana and, of course, the rest of West African countries, and indeed how this is contributing to the general development of ECOWAS, to feeding into our newfound love as Africans, that's the African Continental Free Trade. Welcome. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I want to find out from you, so far, how much money have you invested in Ghana, and in which areas, to be specific?
Thank you very much. Good morning, our distinguished listeners. We are from the ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development. I'm the president of the bank, and happily I'm also a Ghanaian. Let me give a short background. Concerning the bank, and then I will directly respond to your question. The ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development, as you may be aware, is the regional financial institution owned by the 15 ECOWAS member countries. It started as a fund in 1975 and 79. And in 1999, the Authority of Heads of State and Government formally transformed the fund into a bank. So since 1999, it has operated as a bank. The objective of the bank is to finance development projects and programs in the area of energy, in the area of education, health, hospitality, infrastructure, roads, and so forth and so forth. Let me just give you an example. In Ghana here, let me just cite two examples of our projects so that you understand and appreciate what we do. In the area of hospitality, we co-finance the Kempinski Hotel with the African Development Bank and then Societe Generale. In the case of Marriott Hotel, we co-finance with the IDs of South Africa. I'm just giving you two examples of some of the projects we do. Currently, there's a big shopping mall going on in Kumasi, which is called the Garden City Mall. If you know Kumasi very well, Swami Runabout, there's a big shopping mall project which is currently ongoing. We are financing that project with the Ghana Commercial Bank. So these are the things we do. So the bank is basically committed to financing development projects and programs, as I said, in the area of energy, infrastructure, roads, health, education, with the underlying aim of improving the lives of the people of the sub-region. Now in Ghana, let me now directly respond to your question directly. In Ghana, as we speak today, if you add the amount that we have just signed, we have committed more than $200 million to the various sectors of Ghanaian economy, in both private and then the public sector. The projects I mentioned are all private sector projects, but in terms of public sector projects, I'm happy to inform the public that we finance, or we co-finance the Bekwai Government District Hospital. We also extended electricity to 114 villages in Brohafu and Ashanti regions. So these are some of the things that we do also in terms of public sector. We also finance another project is the extension of the Ghana Fire Service. We had to help the Ghana government to be able to expand the operation of the Ghana Fire Service. So these are the things that we have done so far in Ghana. As I said, the amount is over $200 million US.
So I want to find out, in recent times, being hard hit by COVID, has your financial structuring for the various African, West African countries changed in relation to budget support for governments, for example?
Absolutely. The COVID has impacted our activities seriously. I'm sure you might have heard in 2020, we had to place moratorium on a number of projects that we have financed. If I say placing moratorium on it, means that we defer repayment of both interest and principal for 13 projects and then 2 public sector projects. The reason is that these countries and private promoters were suffering. So in order to ease their suffering, we decided that we would not take any interest and then principal repayment for that year. Definitely, it means that our inflows will be affected, liquidity will be affected, and of course, profit also will be affected. So definitely, the COVID has had a serious impact. But I'm happy to note that the countries rather have not come up to support us. Let me cite an example of Nigeria. Nigeria is our largest shareholder. As we speak today, they have totally cleared their total contribution, that is in terms of the caught up capital of the bank. Cote d'Ivoire has also finished.
And that's how much?
That is about $30 million US. Cote d'Ivoire, last week I was with President Ouattara of Cote d'Ivoire. Cote d'Ivoire has also totally liquidated its obligation towards the bank in terms of the payment of the caught up capital. So these are the support we are receiving.
In fact, last week, what's Ghana supposed to contribute?
Ghana has already finished paying before even the COVID.
Okay.
So our country is doing well. In fact, Ghana was one of the first majority shareholders to finish paying. We have 3 majority shareholders of the bank: Nigeria, Ghana, and then Cote d'Ivoire. In fact, Ghana is the 2nd largest shareholder of the bank. And I'm happy to note, through the instrumentality of Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta, and of course, and the previous Minister for Finance, Tepe, Ghana has totally cleared its total subscription in terms of the caught up capital of the bank. So, to answer your question, yes, COVID has really impacted serious activities, but we are still receiving support from the member countries as we speak today.
Yes. Why is Ivory Coast the largest benefactor so far? What's Ivory Coast doing right?
Right. That is very important. It means that the projects that you bring to the bank should fulfill or satisfy the requirements, the credit process. It doesn't mean that whatever project that we receive is also processed. It depends upon the requirements of the bank. So I'm happy to let the public know that Cote d'Ivoire as a country, I think that has a better understanding of our operations, of our environment. And so the way they package their projects, they are always able to meet the financial requirements of the bank. And again, another reason I also give is that I think that they have established a very strong relationship with the bank. Being the Ghanaian president, I'm also trying now to make sure that Ghanaian promoters get to know the bank. I said to know, I share with you that a lot of people don't know our bank because we have been very quiet. And that's why I find this project we are doing now very, very, very important and critical, especially for our private promoters, for them to know that there is a bank. They have a bank where they can resort to, of course, subject to fulfilling the financial requirement of the bank. So Cote d'Ivoire, over the years, I think that, of course, they have confidence in the bank, number one. Number two, as I said, they package their request very well, in order to meet the financial requirement of the bank. And as we speak now, there is a project I want to establish now in all the member countries where we'll have a roadshow so that we'll be able to educate the promoters and the public about the financial requirements and what they are supposed to do in order to be able to meet our financial requirements.
One of the key things that Africa struggles from is infrastructure, and when it comes to also the continental free trade, one of the key roadblocks for us will be infrastructure. What percentage of the funding expense do you do to the road sector, for example? Do you have any special regime for the road sector, for example?
Right, we work hand in hand with the member countries. For example, in Ghana, You may ask, why are we signing this? We are signing this because the leadership, that the government of Ghana has declared 2020 and 2021 a year of rules. Quickly, as a bank, we need to be very smart and be very responsive to the needs of the countries at any time. So because the government of Ghana has declared 2020 and 2021 year of rules, we have to now also support the government of Ghana. And that's why the loan ceremony has taken place this morning, because the money will be geared towards rules. In the same way, looking at the national development plans of the various member countries, if we see that there is an area which meets our requirement, or which is in line with our mission, we quickly have that collaboration with that member country in order to be able to support them. So that's what we do. So we don't have any specific amount for any, specific sector. It depends upon the plans of the country. That's the strategic plan and our mission also. So we take advantage of the strategic plans of the member countries or their national development plan, let me put it that way, and then we also go in to assist the member country depending upon the area that they are looking at. Let me give an example. For example, if Cote d'Ivoire decides that this year we want to now really promote agriculture, we would devote some money for agriculture there. We don't have any policy that this is the amount voted for roads or for infrastructure. It depends upon the needs of the member countries, depends upon the needs of the promoters vis-a-vis our mandate and the available resources also.
Yeah, I think an extension of what I asked in relation to the continental free trade is for blocks, so Central Africa, West Africa, East Africa, to strategically position themselves to be able to take advantage of the bigger pie. Exactly what is the strategic positioning of the bank to make sure that we put West Africa ahead of the other blocks?
Thank you very much. That is a very good question. I'm happy to inform you that just about 3 weeks ago I had a meeting with the Secretariat, the African Continental Free Trade Area. And as we say now, we are just about to sign an MOU. In order to promote trade is very important. Remember that West African communities don't trade among themselves. That is one problem, that's one challenge that we need to address. For example, in Nigeria, even 2019 or so, Nigeria's trade with other member countries is about 1.2%, which is very, very negligible. So what we want to do is now want to establish a very strong relationship with the AFTA, so that we as a bank will now collaborate with them and see the areas which are of great importance to our member countries and then go into assist. Remember, our catchment area is within the member countries. We don't go beyond the ECOWAS member countries. So our mandate is to support the member countries. So even though we have to break even, profit making is not our real focus. The developmental agenda of the member countries is our priority. So it's a very, very small margin that we are looking at now.
Two last questions. Yes. One is in relation to technology and the other is in relation to agriculture.
Well, that is it for AM Business this morning. We're going to take a bit of a break, but before that, let me tell you a bit about H2 Solutions, an elite comprehensive IT solutions company in West Africa that provides service-led solutions to corporations both locally and regionally by bridging legacy offerings and emerging services focused on new technology, new delivery models, and new architecture to mid-sized and enterprise businesses. Now, as PMI authorized training partners, we're organizing a project management certificate course for the general public. So the relevant dates, 24th May to the 4th of June, 2021. It's going to be online. You spend 3 hours per day. That is 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. GMT. It used to be $800 US. It's now $400 US. You don't want to miss out. The key benefits: you earn 35 PDU contact hours plus a certificate, contact hours certificate as well. You complete your project management professional certification training. There are class materials available and tools to equip you as a PM experienced instructor. Now, for registration and inquiries, contact info@h2safrica.com. Now, the 2 is actually the number 2. So info@h2safrica.com. The website, www.h2safrica.com. You can reach out to Florence on the number 0556 757 549. 0556 757 549. Or Jephthah on 0556 647 705. 0556 647 705. Do stay. We'll be right back as we engage the authorities on the water situation up north. We'll be right back. Welcome back on the AM show. We started the conversation yesterday talking about water problems right from the OT region to the northern belt of the country, northern region, northeast and Savannah. Well, here's a recap of what exactly happened yesterday, right before we hold to account the duty bearers.
The worry for these residents about where and when to get water in the coming days would be Herculean. Their lives will evolve around moving from one community to another in search of water. Women and children will have to spend hours in search. Mohammed Hafiz is a Form 2 student of Answaruddin Junior High School. He's just closed from school but has to begin drawing water so that he can fetch enough. He says he will have to increase the number of times he fetches so that by the time the dam dries up, they will still have some more to use.
Have in our area, we use it to build our rooms, and in cases we used to drink and wash our clothes. The pipes are not flowing.
A student of the UDS, Suleimana Abdul Jabbar, says they have had to rely on this water because they cannot afford the daily 2 cedis for a gallon of water sold by water vendors.
And as you can, when you come here around Saturday or Sunday, I bet you will cry. When you see us with the students, we are suffering here. And, some of the people in the community, they are selling waters for us. They'll go somewhere and bring the water. 1 gallon of water is 2 cedi. Okay. And imagine you are a student and you are going to spend all your money on this on buying water from the natives. We are really suffering a lot around this area.
The Klo traditional area has a population of over 1,000. The area is riddled with several development challenges. They are faced with bad roads, no good health care facilities, no potable water, and telecommunication network. These communities are most often cut off from the rest of the world, especially during the rainy season. Even though there are several challenges, the most critical for the people of the Klo traditional area is potable water.
So we kickstart the conversation now from the different regions that we spoke about. And we're going to start with Alhaji Alhassan Zakaria Shani, who is Northern Regional Minister. Thank you very much for joining the conversation, Alhaji Shani.
Thank you very much for having me.
Great. Now, we note that in the northern region, there is an acute water situation in some crucial areas, and I'll be mentioning some of them shortly that we've actually been speaking of. Just to, situate the conversation, we're talking about Dungu near Tamale, where the dam has dried up. We are talking about communities including Asawaba, Dungu Nyohene, Bambaya, Paring, Kunyavilu, Dungu Kukuo, and around the UDS community. Tell me, are you aware of the situation, first of all?
Thank you very much for asking. I'm very much aware about this, and a lot is being done in that direction to correct those anomalies.
When you say a lot is being done, can you walk us through what exactly is being done?
Well, Tamale is a very large area, and all those areas that you are recounting are all areas that are new. There are suburbs of Tamale, far from town. For them to get good pipe water, drinking water, some extension works should be done. And I think very much aware that government is doing something in that direction.
Right. Now, it's not just Tamale we are looking at. We know Yendi, Gushegu, Bimbela, all of these places are also facing acute water shortages. So can we broaden the conversation? In the northern region, it's a crisis that we are talking of. And you're saying that you are aware of the situation. And I'm trying to find out what critical measures have been put in place. So let's focus. The dams, for example, that were created, how many exist in the northern region?
The dams that were created, most of them are in good use. Yes, that we have a very dry season this year. The dry season prolonged beyond what normally exists. So some of the dams had to dry up because of the overusage of those dams. It is the same dams that we use for household chores. They used for this dry season gardening, vegetable farming, and even the animals would also draw from those dams, putting a lot of pressure on those dams. And it leaves us in the position of losing the dams or the dams being dried up quickly.
Alhachani, how many dams do you know have been created in your region that are still being used? How many? Can you tell us?
Yeah, we have about 200 and the whole dam population in the region is about 243 or so, 243. And out of these 243 that were being constructed, we have about 200 completed dams. Most of them are in use, even though some of them are almost dried up because of the prolonged dry season.
Let me now.
By this time of the year, the rains should have started pouring, but as we all know, it's not raining as at the moment.
Okay, I'll come back to you with some other concerns as far as your region is concerned. But let me now engage Mr. So that is the OT regional minister. Let me Makubu, yes, Joshua Makubu. So, Honorable, I just want to find out from you. You are aware, I hope, that in the Kratche area of your region, there are acute water problems. In fact, we've seen videos in recent times come through concerning that area and beyond, and it is quite a situation. How much do you know about the situation, and what has so far been done about it to get water to the ordinary people?
Thank you very much. In the OT region, talking about water crisis, communities such as CB comes to mind, the Kratche West municipality, and then part of, what do you call it? Kratche East municipality that is actually housing the regional capital. Now, if you look at the case of CB, that is in the Nkwanta North district. As at 2008, when former President John Ejikuku was leaving office, a robust water system where water was treated from River Oti and pumped through Damanko, Sebi, Jakokra to Pasa was in place. And this was handled by the community. Somewhere along the line, we got the information that the level of indebtedness and maintenance was a problem. Then they have to bring in a private investor who also came in and doesn't have the capacity and ended up messing up the whole place. And then Ghana Water and Sanitation Agency has taken over. Currently, as we speak, instead of 4 pumps, 2 at the treatment side and then 2 at the, the supply side, we have only 2 pumps that are working. So water could only be supplied up to Damanko, and CB and Pasa are not getting water. But the good news is that, as I speak with you, Aqua Africa is coming in with a facility that will refurbish the water system in Nkwanta North and even expand it beyond Pasa and part of Damanko. But to curb the current situation, I just spoke with the CEO about a week ago, and the agreement was that they will get 1 pump to be fixed, add 1 additional pump to be fixed, so that in the short time, water can be pumped out to CB, so that the problem in CB in the meantime can be resolved, so that the expansion and then the restructuring work will be done by Aqua Africa. The consultants are here, will be in the next 2 weeks, and very soon this will get into. But what is happening is that this same Aqua Africa facility, which is a 30 million euro facility, is going to also consider the water system in the Kratche East municipality, which would definitely capture surroundings like Okuma, Ekra, Wani, and the other surroundings that were played in your distant earlier. In the Karachi West municipality, I was there on Saturday to meet the youth groups in town over a complaint that the Community Water and Sanitation Agency had brought to me that they had stopped them from reading meters and other things. We got that issue resolved. And then the other issue was that the people of Karachi were saying that, look, they have the lake just by them, then they need surface water now instead of using boreholes to supply them water, which is not, reliable. So anything short of surface water, they were not going to accept it. That was making it difficult for the Community Water and Sanitation Agency to expand, add additional, boreholes to be able to supply water. But the surface water treatment, that is going to be a medium-term plan. But in the short run, what do we do to make sure that our brothers and sisters in Karachi West get water?
Okay, so in the short term, walk us through that very briefly, what you're going to do in the short term, just very briefly on that final point.
What we are doing in the short term is that they have now agreed that Community Water and Sanitation Agencies will come in, add another borehole to the existing borehole. With that, they'll be able to supply water to the entire Karachi West Township for the meantime, whilst we look for an investor who has already expressed interest of getting the surface water project done, where he will pay for some number of years and hand over. So that is what we're doing now.
I'll be coming back to you shortly, but let me now engage Professor Saad Dito, climate change analyst at the University for Development Studies. Prof, thank you for joining the conversation. Now, we heard Alhaj Shani, the Northern Regional Minister, mention a short while ago that irregular rainfall patterns are also contributing to this problem. How much of an effect is this having on the back of climate change in terms of water resources in these areas up north?
The audio, turn on. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. Sorry, my video has problems, so you can't see me.
That's fine.
But you see, we are talking about potable water, water for drinking. So by the time we are talking about dams that are drying, and we are talking about potable water, it means we have a serious crisis. When you heard Honorable Joshua discussing, you realize that he was talking about how to get potable water, water that is drinkable to people. So we see all these people going to dams to fetch water for drinking. It means we have a very, very serious problem. Now, for Tamale, about 2 weeks ago, and for over 2 weeks, there was hardly any water anywhere in the town. And the reason wasn't because of rain. The reason wasn't because there were no dams. The reason was because, I'm not too sure, but the reason was because Ghana Water was not pumping water. So almost the whole of Tamale didn't have water. As I said, and the more important thing, I think, for all of us, is that when that happens, there should be information as to why the situation exists from Ghana Water. Nobody knew exactly what the problem was. So when we're talking about potable water, we should be talking about potable. I was expecting that we'll be talking about Ghana Water supplying water to parts of the northern region, for that matter, anywhere. Then maybe boreholes, and then definitely treated water.
But Prof, we also know that in some of these places up north, Ghana Water Company Limited has not even reached them yet, so they have to rely on other sources of water like the boreholes.
Exactly, that's the point we are making. That's the point I'm making. So if Ghana Water hasn't reached there, then the key thing is, what do we do with this water, muddy water that they are fetching? What are we doing about it? We are doing virtually nothing about it. We're just saying that we have built a dam, go and fetch that dirty water, go and fetch that infested water, and use. That may be very temporary, and you can imagine the kinds of situations, health situations that are actually going. So the truth about the matter is that we have serious problems with potable water. And you see, until our politicians actually agree that we have a problem We can never solve it. We are giving what there are 200 something dams. There are this there. Yet we know that these are serious problems. And you are saying that because of the extent of dry season, the water dried. For how many years hasn't there been a long dry season that is long?
So
what I'm saying is that
Prof,
our first point to solve the problem is to agree that it's a serious problem. And then what do we do? And as Honorable Joshua was talking about, there are short-term solutions, medium-term solutions, and long-term solutions. What are we doing in the short term?
Okay.
In the short term, maybe we can say, okay, well, since it is not, we cannot do anything much in the short term, dams may help. But even the dams, what are we doing about it? What are we teaching them? What should they do with the water? I know when children will put alum or something in the water so that the water and all that. What are we doing? Are we teaching? Are we telling the villagers or the rural people how to treat the water so that they may be able to use it? Are we talking about in the medium term maybe boreholes? Are we talking about in the long term how Ghana water will solve the problem? So we must be able to agree that there's a problem, and how do we solve it now and in the future?
Okay, so it's clear that there is
hearing that on what is happening.
Yes, Prof, it is clear that there is a problem. The people don't have potable water, and we need a plan. And that is why we're engaging some of the regional ministers. But just to highlight the real situation, how much of a challenge is climate?
But the point I'm making is that I'm not hearing that they agree that there's a problem.
Well,
I'm not hearing that.
When I cross over back as I wrap up with...
It's because of dry season. And the dry season has been that since I was born.
Right. Right. So as far as you are concerned, you're not seeing any solutions being proffered by Alhaj Shani and Mr. Makubu, basically.
I'm saying that I'm not even seeing them realizing that there's a problem.
Wow.
I want them to agree that there is a problem, and that is a serious problem. Then we can start. But I am not hearing them saying that, yes, this is a serious problem, which we must tackle. That's where we should start.
Okay, so let me cross over briefly. I'll come back to you, Prof, and we'll wrap up on the conversation. But let me come briefly to you, Alhaj Shani. You've heard Prof. Do you agree there is a problem? And what is your commitment? What commitment are you going to make moving forward to get water to your people in the northern region? Alhaj Shani, please unmute so we can hear you. Whatever it is you're communicating, sharing with us. Alhaj Shani, please unmute.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes.
Do you agree there's a problem?
I started my submission with accepting that there was a problem. And I do not think that nobody thinks that there's no problem. There's a problem because the people of the northern region are affected. And if there's no problem, why don't we have water flowing through our pipes? So there's a problem. And in solving this problem, in December last year, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, commissioned a water project that was to give water to Tamale and its environs, and another project in Yendi. All these projects will start very soon. The one in Tamale would be giving the people of Tamale and its environs 120 million gallons a day. That would be enough for us to do all the expansion works that we want to do to get water to the people of Tamale and a radius of 30 kilometers within Tamale. And in Yendi, it's also a project that will give us 45 million gallons a day. That would also serve about 30 kilometers radius within the catchment area. So all of these things are measures that have been put in place to help the people of the northern region. Apart from that, the Community Water and Sanitation Division that is responsible for giving water to the rural areas, it's very effective. Yeah, I'm aware that so many boreholes have been dug to help us in this direction. The Ministry of Special Initiatives also embarked on some number of drillings that is helping. Now that the ministry has now moved back to the presidency. I'm sure serious work is going to be done to make sure that
so Alhaj, I hear you saying a lot of this project will take place and we shall do. I want you to make a commitment. Let's say by end of 2021, we're already in the 5th month, so let's give ourselves another 6 months. What are you committing to by end of 2021 as Northern Regional Minister to get water to your people? What is your commitment, briefly?
That is what I'm saying. By the end of 2021, I'm in talks with the Ghana Water Company regional directorate here, and we are doing much. I think in the last 2 days, the water situation in Tamale have improved. Now the water has started flowing into the river. It's not that they are not. They have the capacity to supply at least 50 to 60% of the needs of the people of Tamale. But the issue was that the catchment area that they would draw the water from to treat and pump was not there. Now the rains have started, water has started flowing in. We have an improvement, and everybody within the Tamale metropolis can attest to what I'm saying. Water is flowing in. Everybody is making good use of what is flowing now.
Okay.
But notwithstanding that, there's a conscious effort to make sure that this problem is solved once and for all. Okay. When this water project comes on stream, I'm very much aware that we have reached a state of value for money audit that will be completed soon. By the end of June, I think this water project in Tamale and Yendi would have all taken off.
Okay, by the end of June, so that is an assurance there.
The project would have taken off.
All right, by the end of June. Thank you very much, Honorable.
Yes,
let me come to Mr. Makubu. Now, you do realize there's a problem, I'm sure. Now, what is your commitment moving forward? What are you committing to do in the areas that are affected, Kratche and Nkwanta, among others? What is your commitment before the end of 2021?
Thank you very much. As I indicated earlier, we are getting an additional pump to the Damanko water site.
When?
Then the people of Subi.
When is this? When is this?
Well, I spoke with the CEO about a week ago, and we're giving ourselves about a month to be able to get that. But as I indicated, in the case of Kratche East Municipality, that's the regional capital, the consultant is expected in June to come in, and then when he's satisfied with his work, the site will be handed over to the contractor, Aqua Africa, and they will also commence. And then I was in Kratche West last Saturday, and then I'll have to engage the Community Water and Sanitation Agency. We'll get back there, and upon some few meetings, they will also add the other borehole and start the water supply while the investor comes in to work on the surface water for distribution. But I think that the other gentleman, the climate change analyst, I was expecting that he would have educated us on how these water systems are also being impacted by changes in climate.
We're actually getting to that.
The human activity. But I think that is the kind of education he should be offering to us. That will also support us as politicians to educate our people as we struggle. You look at this community and you realize that even in Nwani and other areas, we have dug boreholes, several of them, but just that the water is not coming. And I think it has to do with climate change and other things. We will need better education from that angle by those people who have acquired those special skills. But as for identification of the problem, yes, we accept there's a problem because our people are facing the problem. We are also facing the problem. And when it is resolved, our own brothers and sisters will get potable water. And that is exactly what we are into now.
Okay, so I want a yes or no answer for this. In the next few months, latest by the close of 2021, please hold on, Prof. In the next few months, latest by the close of 2021, Mr. Makubu, you can guarantee that the people of Kratche, the people of Nkwanta will have water, potable water to drink.
Yes, when you are talking about Nkwanta, Keren Nkwanta proper, there's water that is now flowing through our pipes in Nkwanta. That is where I live. But the people of Sibi, before the close of 2021, we are going to make sure that an additional pump is added and they will get water whilst we work to refurbish the other aspect. And Kratche too is the same thing as I've indicated.
All right. Prof, now, I want us to touch base on that very issue raised by Honorable Makubu as we get ready to wrap the conversation. How much of a problem is climate change right now?
Yeah,
how much of an impact? Could you just hold on? How much of an impact do you foresee it will have on our water systems? Dams are drying up and all that. Give us the education, Prof.
Yes, thank you very much, and I'm happy that Honorable Joshua mentioned it. Yes, climate change is a problem. In fact, today, as we are talking, we are going to have right now, and we are discussing climate change there in the next few minutes. It is a serious problem. But the point he made was that we should be educating, or at least giving people information. Mm-hmm. Communication is extremely important. Let's take a very simple example. When they started the one dam, one village, one dam, ask the ministry that how many of the experts in Ghana, and there were quite many, did they consult? None. The politicians don't even use the university people for anything. The university are places of knowledge, of practical things we are doing, but nobody bothers to even ask the university.
Hello, Prof. Do we still have Professor Sadito? All right, so some education that Professor Sadito was giving, but unfortunately it appears the connection with him has been lost. But any final words, Mr. Makubu and Alhaj Shani, right before we wrap? Any final words? I'll start with you, Mr. Makubu.
Yeah, I went off. My internet got cut off, sorry. Okay. So the point I'm actually making is that it's a very important point. These universities are funded by government. Put a lot of money in there. There's a lot of knowledge there. But the knowledge is not used. So the dams that were built in Tamale at the University for Development Studies, there is a project where World Bank and the Ghana government is funding. It is sent. We are a West African Center for Water, Irrigation, and Sustainable Agriculture.
Right.
Yet nobody, not a single politician, has even bothered to find out what are these people doing.
Okay, and that must change. Okay.
So we have a serious problem with communication between knowledge institutions and the politicians.
Okay, Prof.
So
Sadito.
how do we interact? Not even educate. It's more of a direction, because there are a lot of things you know, and there are a lot of things we don't know. But the
Prof, thank you very much for actually joining us. Unfortunately, I cannot take the last bits from Honorable Sani and Honorable Makubu. But thank you very much for joining the conversation this morning. It continues as we try to get water to those in the northern belt of our country.
And so you are being asked on that video, and for those of you on radio, the last slide that came after all those kids asked, which is your favorite kit at the UEFA Euro 2020? Just tells you how interactive our coverage will be here on the multimedia group. And we welcome you again if you are just joining us on, let me try if I get the list correct again, Adum TV, Yamamwache, Adum FM, Monso Yamamwache, Inshira FM, Hello Kumasi, and Love FM. We are also live there. And then in Accra, we are on Hits FM live. We are on Joy Super Morning Show live. We are also live on Bedrim on Adum TV and also live on the AM show. This, of course, is Prime Morning, but today we have transmogrified into the UEFA Euro 2020 launch. With me in the studio will be two gentlemen from our Joy cluster, as we call it here at the Multimedia Group, and also the Akan cluster, George Addo Jr.
Always a pleasure, Gary L. Smith.
And also Enoch Walanyo Wallace.
That's right.
The only professor with the nomenclature. So we hear from them. But first of all, why have we brought you the Euro 2020? In the midst of a pandemic, we could not have it last year. And so the first question I'm going to answer before anything else that we keep seeing on social media is, why is it called Euro 2020 in 2021? For simple sponsorship reasons, UEFA have decided to keep the brand name so that when it's being referred to in the future, it's not going to mix up. In the same way, Tokyo Olympics is still called Tokyo 2020, even though it is slated to be played in 2021. I hope that's clear. Right, without much ado, let's go and speak to Ken Ansah, who is the Chief Operating Officer of the Multimedia Group. Good morning, Ken. Okay, we'll join Ken Ansah momentarily, but he'll give us a sense about why we are doing this and why we are bringing Euro 2020 to you. While we wait for him, let me go to George Addo Jr. George, as a sports journalist, what does Euro 2020 mean to and for you?
I mean, missed opportunities finally here, because we missed a lot as football fans. And I'm saying this because we are, as multimedia, we are not new to the Euros. We have been running the Euros on radio. The big twist to it is that we've got television this time, and you are going to enjoy us on television as well, with all that comes with it. The 2016 Euros was very great, and we had a great build-up to the 2020 Euros, only to have that truncated by COVID. So first, missed opportunities finally here. We get to enjoy what we should have enjoyed last year, and it's even packaged better for us, you know, at a time like this in the world, to have this in there, to have a feel of the fans coming back. Only yesterday we saw fans going back to the English Premier League stadia, and the kind of difference it made. I think that this is a great opportunity for everybody, and a great opportunity for the players to show us what they've got, and beautiful opportunity then for the fans to enjoy what they've got to enjoy. So we love this. I think about it and say, well, 2020 was such a crazy year, but somehow we've been able to bridge the gaps. We've been able to bring this back. So everyone is enjoying, and I know that everybody's going to enjoy it. So for me, it represents missed opportunities that we have to now grab and go with. Lovely stuff.
George has summarized it all, but let's go to Ken Ansah, the Chief Operating Officer of the Multimedia Group. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning, Gary and team. Good morning, everyone.
Hi. We see you are in some lovely corner of the world. Hope everything is fine this morning.
Yes, everything is fine. Thank you very much. And thank you to the team and our teaming audience and viewers across Ghana and the world over.
Are you more excited than we are, or you are more excited as we are, or than we are, that Euro 2020 is on the Multimedia Group?
Exactly. I'm very excited. And, you know, it took us quite a while to get this put together. But at the end of the day, it is not about us. It is about our audience. It is about the fans and what they love most, and that is football. And I would think that our excitement stems from the fact that we've been able to put this together for them for the month of June and July. Something wonderful for them to enjoy.
June 11 to July 11, 1 month of great football. From where you sit, Ken Ansah, why do you think this is important? Why was it important for the Multimedia Group to bring this to our audience across all our 10 platforms?
I mean, you know, sports is a beautiful thing that brings people together. And for Ghana, football is, if I dare say, our #1 sport. And we all love it. Although this is Euro and it is not about us specifically, this is something Ghanaians generally love. And so for us, as I said, if we want to excite our audience and viewers, and we want to give them something to chew on, anything other than and get it for them.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ken Ansah. We are keeping this launch very, very short and snappy. So would love to hear more from you during the tournament and even before. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, and good morning once again.
All right. So that's Ken Ansah, the Chief Operating Officer of the Multimedia Group, giving us some perspective as to why the Euros is here with us. Let me come to my colleague Enoch. Wallace, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Gary. Okay, so
so
Adum,
you're welcome to watch you.
Okay, we be akwa kese part about the launch of Euro 2020 and yes in kunya hanomti Gary edibofo emiemia and afie so medificas and FM kakra sebia obo na niam AC kwa while ago what to say George Adu Junior HHS na niam ACTS nyame adoma sa opportunity we HHS no kokra bema ye audience no I so excited me sure say Euro no afi no is say 2020 mu and ananka SS HHS no create me but it's say pandemic ne buy nti no empemfo apia e de 2021 nti empemfo a ehwe eboma Euros ne time koye no oman yi eyipamu omasema mo kan say ye be koso de din Euro 2020 na to so nti wote say ye ka 2020 enyamfum so but ehihia that was say ye pese ye kai Euros ne nti no and ye dey share still 2020 migidi pass multimedia we see another opportunity for us to deepen your brand no ye be ma ye tumu nchine amama for we sampa ye gina na so apart from that no ye so as a central fund so we kunya kese pad man ya ye betua sanche we share fan nyina say when you bring an international program like this to us and also betua say deliver until among for sure say more of the excitement in betua course within this area ye the Euro 2020 bantigari kakra meka wo twika sema mama for atino
intino ansa na obekono we dey ye besrew Diana, you expect our account platforms also.
Yeah, our account platforms also no. Sin edika kano. Me sure say niama ye deda no. Demonstrate say ampa ebitian sa ye. Your cracked commentators and reporters and summarizers one ma. Nyame aduma ombe boama san hyehyɛ so kwetime san koye. Oba ye hyehyɛ ni ma ye wo Euros nkomo. Eno ye nkomo ahodo etime san PP mu e wo Euros na se no. Ana ebitian san de aba amamafo mu san ne ma esie ko. Apart from that no so ohwese na e wo Euros nsem keka. Eno so ye niama ahodo a amamfo so e kan fi abonten FIUs no hon tibetia saba park no fan park num na afi ye ne audience o mo hwe no aye sa interactions no nsema o mo keka fa ho no e wo honum eno pa ho so a o hwese na esi kwa ye wo Euros minute no so nyama esi e wo Euro nim every minute bia na every pass second bia de bono tofa ne de abrel o de say ha enti o bi kwa ho na say bi open no say wotimi enya se na community ko na no say o buy account cluster no so na afi wo hwese na ne mesi ko so from Adom FM Echo Insure FM edwani Srekpe FM the headquarters of Ghana Sports no obo se na hyehyɛ ne Asia County we ene ne ma bia ye de ba apart from that no so say Euros ne start here ye be amount panel a ohwe se na ne mesi tia o mo de discussions pre-match any post-match na feel so even within the half time no so no ya sama your sponsors ne mileage a esan se mo so discagatory abeta hd pa hwa bomba ne metua sa County. I think say we be a very wonderful opportunity interactivity between yen and your audience no so ebetua sa course ntinyama ye de ba ne de edoso but ye bone boa mama for into hwe nim say nyame adoma afi Euro 2020 no very promising
ampa. So the multimedia group is the home of the UEFA Euro 2020 on the Akan cluster. Enoch Wallace will be leading a crack team on all our CAN platforms, from Adom FM to Adom TV to Insura FM to Asempa 94.7 FM. That platform has a morning show dedicated to sports, and there'll be a lot of Euro chatter there.
Yes, that's
we'll have a substitution here. When Wallace is done, we'll take a break to give you an idea of something that's happening during the Euros. And when we come back, we'll be bringing in a new striker on the set. Right, so you got a summary of the groups in UEFA Euro 2020. Guess what? There'll be 24 teams, as you saw, and the tournament will be played across several countries for the first time. Usually, we'll have, Euro something in one country. No, UEFA is spreading the love. We're also spreading the love here on the multimedia group. And so if you are listening to us or watching us, most likely it is either on Adom TV or Insura FM or Asempa FM or the JoyNews channel or Joy 99.7 FM or Love 99.5 FM, Hits 103.9 FM, and Asempa 94.7 FM. Those are our 10 multimedia group channels, and of course on myjoyonline.com. Why have I forgotten that one also? In spreading the love, we are bringing you the best of the corporate world who have joined forces with us. Here are the multimedia group for UEFA Euro 2020. I have two of our sponsors here with us. Please say hello to, on my immediate right, the man in black. Betway, just like the color of his brand, black and white, and some green, but I don't see any green.
No green today.
No green today.
No green today.
So he's Kwabna Opon Nkrumah. Hello, Kwabna.
Hi, Gary. Thank you for having me.
Yes. And he's the country manager marketing for Betway Ghana. Thank you very much for joining us. So, Kwabna,
thank you for having us.
First of all, why are you excited about UEFA Euro 2020?
So, Euros are always exciting. 2012, we had 76 goals. We had 108 goals in the last 2016 Euros. And currently in the Champions League, 365 goals so far. The Euros are all about goals. And for us at Betway, for the love of the game, goals are a very exciting thing to have. So that is why we are here. We are here to partner with the multimedia group and bring a lot of goals, excitement, and fun to our players on our platform and the new players that will join us as the Euros go along.
Great. So also bringing us that love for the love of the game, as you guys like to say at Betway, is a man whose company is going to ensure that our coverage is painted very, very well. Sure. Alexander McCarthy is from Azar Paint. He's the sales manager, representative in charge of the Volta and Eastern region of Azar Paints in Ghana. Thank you very much for joining us as well.
You're welcome, Gary.
Great. Why are you excited about UEFA Euro 2020, Alexander?
Of course, just like my brother said, the Euros and the fun that comes with it. The much-awaited Euros, and as a company, having known that Joy is, taking over the whole program and showing it to customers, and the whole nation. As a company, we feel this is a time for us to be part of it and then share the joy and then the fun that it comes with, the smiles and then the excitement,
Yeah, growing up, I always used to remember adverts and Azar.
Yes.
Together with football,
yes,
always.
Yes,
on almost all the competitions.
We've been
and I remember you saying, Azar,
number one.
Yes. Are you still number one?
We are still number one.
Are you sure?
We are still number one.
Fantastic. I'm sure we are going to see more of that during the tournament as well.
Yes.
So, in terms of, give us a slight idea of what you do at Azar.
All right. So, Azar, Azar company has been in the system for over a century now, since 1921. We're a company that we deal with paint. We've got 3 different brands. We have the Shield, we have the Azar itself, which is the mother paint, or the company's named the mother brand company, sure. And then we have the Savannah paint. Our objective is to provide quality and then durability paint to the market. Beauty comes with painting, and that's what we understand, and that's why we are doing this as a company.
For those on the Akan cluster as well, that is Adum FM, Adum TV, and Inshira FM, and I'm watching about Euro 2020 launch our multimedia group between June 11 and July 11. The football at the Bebremo our Betway representative Kwabna Opon Nkrumah and Alexander McCarthy Azar painter omudi akutene paint Ghana almost number 1. Sure. Sisiano baby Abefibiano say a Shield, say a Savannah, or say Azar paint. Now you have to get all your paints from Azar. But just to finish, we would like to get a final word from Betway as to some of the things they are doing during the Euros as well.
So, Gary, it's good you mentioned that. We have 2 exciting things that are happening. For new players that are not on our platform, if you come onto Betway during this period, you're able to immediately access our sign-up offer of 15 CDs free into your account once you've signed up. That is for them. But once you do that, you are able to then now play in our Euro Goal Rush promo. That is specifically for the Euros, and it offers 20,000 CDs to be won every day during the match days, and then at the end of it you have 100,000 for the ultimate winner, who also adds that in addition to what they would have won on their bets and their wagers throughout the Euros. So this is the special promo that is coming out for the Euros. It will be available from the 11th of June to the 11th of July, and for our customers, in addition to winning your bet, you are able to participate. All you need to do is sign up, have a Betway account, select in the Betway Euro Goal Rush promo the players that you think would win. Even when you think there will be no goal, Gary, you can pick up points for that onto the leaderboard. You can pick for a goalkeeper to score, everything that you can do there. And on top of winning your bets, you are able to walk away with 20,000 cedis on a match day and 100,000 cedis at the end of the promo. So
fantastic. So in 23 days, we bring you UEFA Euro 2020. Kwabena Nkrumah represents Betway, and also Alexander McCarthy represents Azar Paint. They are our two sponsors in studio here, because, I say in studio because we would love to welcome DBS Roofing onto the fund that is the UEFA Euro 2020. Also, MTN are also part of the family. They'll be painting the city yellow with us and the country yellow with us, you know. And also, First National Bank, how may we help you? And also, Nivea, the ultimate grooming brand as well, will be joining us. So, Betway, Azar Paint, DBS Roofing, MTN, First National Bank, and Nivea will be all helping our coverage of the UEFA Euro 2020. Well, we promise that the launch will be brief. We've done just about 29 minutes of the launch, so I'll use the next 1 minute to wrap up and to say that please stick and stay with us. Here on the Multimedia Group, we have live commentary of 51 matches on all our radio platforms. We have matches on television as well. As Enoch Wallace told you, we have programs on the account platforms that will summarize and bring you highlights as well. We have the Rewind, the Euro 2020, which will bring you highlights from the previous Euros. So some of your favorite games from yesteryear will be airing starting from today till the tournament begins in 23 days' time. And then when the tournament begins, we will be bringing you a show called Game Plan. That is for tactics and analysis only. We'll be bringing you that one. And also, we'll be bringing you Euro Minute. That is a 60-second summary in English and Akan on all our brands. That will summarize all the great things that are happening in the Euros as well. Then we have the Euro Wrap, which will be a program that will also bring you news updates in short and snappy forms. Don't forget that we are also big on digital media, on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. Guess what? Up till now, anytime there is a big tournament in Ghana, when there are highlights of the goals, you never see it in Ghana because nobody has the right. We are excited to tell you that for the first time in the history of Ghanaian television, the Multimedia Group will be able to bring you clips of the goals and the highlights of the games live and in real time. So even if you miss it, you can watch it on Twitter, on Facebook, and Instagram. These are just some of the few reasons why you should join us for the UEFA Euro 2020 on the Multimedia Group. And I've been asked to give you a final word.
So for us, we are looking to have an exciting moment during the Euros, and we are hoping to do a lot of stuff with our customers and our players and the Multimedia Group.
Excellent. Alexander?
Yeah, sure. So just like we said earlier, we are very excited to be part of this wonderful time together. We know these Euros will put a lot of smiles on faces of our customers out there watching it and then sharing their comments and all that. And so we are very proud to be part of this program with Joy TV, Joy FM, and all that. Thank you.
Let's play our final cue for you, and then when we come back, we say a proper bye-bye on this launch of the UEFA Euro 2020. And just to finish, here on the Multimedia Group's launch of the UEFA Euro 2020, we welcome from our Khan class, our Kobe Stone. Alex Kobe Stone. Yes. Kobe Stone is with our Khan brands as well. You normally hear him on see him on Adum TV and also Adum FM. Yeah. But because we are one big happy family, our Kumasi team and our Accra team will all be one this time. Yeah. You'll be seeing a lot of the Kumasi team and the Accra team crisscrossing like that.
You'll be seeing the Lali Atiasi around.
Yes, we'll be seeing everybody.
You see Ayala around, eh?
Lali Atiasi.
PJ Mose around.
PJ Mose. Exactly.
You know him?
What's his name? Countryman Songo.
Songo.
More fire.
More fire.
Smith Donko.
The whole squad. Bismarck. Ayala.
Owusu
Bempa, that's his government's name. We all call him Ayala. Anyway, so Kobe Stone, Bonitrini Kakramaye.
Well, I'm saying Mwakanina and Mijidi say Ghana for a watching enti yen na aka se yebetimi siesie ho yie yaya ho siesie de but yesi oba eche ewadwaya na osiesie no ya ka we bi se yade no ebaye na yehu ni se ebikura ne papa mu a so se enu na still no ye use Euro 2020 yen ka se Euro 2021 enti no ye de ya ready de aka ne se kick off ne beba na fe ya serve eye omo a ehwe yen ene omo a etie de bia.
And Gary, you know what, I'm particularly excited about the offering we have for the viewers. The fact that they predict and win.
Yeah.
The fact that we're going to be on digital. If you miss television, you go on digital, you get the highlights that you want.
Yeah.
We are going to have quizzes on our account platforms. There's everything in there to make sure that you are part of what we do normally. You know, when we run commentary, we are highly interactive. Your favorite presenters running commentary, your comments are coming in. So there is so much for our viewers. But at the end of the Euros, you have something as well to go on with. Because I don't want to mention all the things, but we'll be telling you as we go. But there's great work, you know, to reward you guys for watching us. You have been with us all this while, so we cannot just enjoy the Euros alone. It is with every one of you.
George,
special
bit. Say kokotiko ye na Srekpe so niama omo ne paye. Na ne aba ne say wo hwese ne city a on your digital platform no apart from so benya videos na hwe no wo be senya photos abesa share.
Yes. High definition.
High definition.
HD. No I say Ronaldo Krajima say hi
Ronaldo. Now speaking of the high definition, remember all our broadcasts of the UEFA Euro 2020 will be experienced on the HD Plus platform. So you can get your decoders later. They'll be bringing far more superior offerings on the Adum TV channel HD. You can watch, look, if you watch Wallace during the tournament and he's sweating, you can see the beads of sweat. Like Kobe Stone said, if Ronaldo is sweating, you can see the sweat there.
Exactly. So
that is on the HD Plus decoder. Please don't miss it. We'll be bringing you more detail later as to how to buy the HD Plus decoder. But it's been on our platforms. Go to any multi-TV installer and tell them that you want to replace your existing multi-TV decoder with the HD Plus one, and then they will fix you and sort you out. That is how you get it. Wallace, but the top of the end.
Ne kwakwa mu no na yesan fa kwanya kese so e dia ka che Ghana fo na wi ase fa na West Africa ne ba bibia wo ahwe bia enka ha de dwumadi ayedi enam awoshi bubuashi kadeshi agbulushi fiada baka kopin bomeka dansoma da kuma ko fodu asum san kede bodu asman kese ebrima mponten fa de kete krachi kopin so do winiba kaso akonya no tempo ko so jama yakosumo ne hye so ga ko pedabala hohoi ekochitu adidome edwani chenkoko bomi obo nkwatia ekopiem na na domahina tanaye edwani chirima kopiem ewon Zemaland ekoko divu akra ya mosu krom obi adna fide na to okokumase a ebi efen se de chemso na na mafo fe ne dai kemso omu na edi mafide ato amokum ene eye bantama ne hohye so nyina no ejina kwanya kese so akase eye Euro 2020 ne edi apaso twa homam se ya launch Euro 2020 ye monse
Right. So let's launch it in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and the UEFA Euro 2020 on the multimedia group is duly launched. Yay! Final montage for those of you watching on TV. You can see Cristiano Ronaldo and his cohort lifting the trophy, and that was in 2016. 5 years later, instead of 4 years later, we are here again for another installment. My producer has asked me to tell my guys to do something that I know they don't want to, but they have to. So, Wale, our prediction is when they be winning UEFA Euro 2020.
I think we be winning.
Who will win UEFA Euro 2020?
Yes, I think I'll go in for Portugal.
Portugal.
Don't
nice
say
one.
Portugal. Say
Nice
Portugal.
Portugal. Yeah. Yo, and yeah, piao. George J.
Yeah.
K.
It's a Kia. I'm going to make a very bold prediction. And you guys want to record it, you guys want to write it. And you know, there's no way I'm going to get this prediction wrong. I think, ladies and gentlemen,
George.
Members of the diplomatic corps, the winner of Euro 2020 will be a country from Europe.
John, when Wallace was giving us the places where you can tune in from, he mentioned about 30. So I stopped counting when he got to about 25 places. But he forgot 2 places on your map.
2 places?
Yes, from there.
Yes, he forgot. Ashaliboche, we have the twin cities of Obudankadi and Obudankadi.
Thank you. Please, Bobbio.
Ashaliboche, twin cities, Obudankadi and Obudankadi.
And you be our map, so.
I can show you the place.
So, this is just to say that the multimedia group will be getting you covered throughout Ghana, and because of the marvel of the internet, our games, especially on radio, will be live on adomonline.com for the Akan cluster and myjoyonline.com for the English cluster as well. We are large and in charge. That is from Joy Entertainment, but we are borrowing it today. And we are everywhere you go, like one of our sponsors. Like I said, we have Azar Paint, we have Betway, we have DBS Roofing, we have MTN, we have First National Bank, and we have Nivea. We have everybody, and this we brought for you. George Addo Jr., Alex Kobna Stone, Enoch Walanyo Wallace, and from myself, Gary Al Smith, and all the producers and the family here at the Multimedia Group, welcome you again to UEFA Euro 2020. Enjoy the football and let's have some fun. Bye-bye, and our programming continues across all our 10 platforms.
And that is the launch of the Euros 2020. Look forward to all the action on all our platforms. Now, when we return, today is the start of the second batch of doses of COVID-19 vaccines. We'll have a brief interaction on that, and then we talk National Science and Math Quiz right after the break. Well, thank you very much for staying with us. And it's the second phase of our vaccine rollout. To walk us through some key areas to look at, we have Dr. Yao Bediako, who is with WACPIP at the University of Ghana. Doc, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, man.
Great to have you. Now, let's hit the nail on the head. You are getting your second shot today, but we also do know that there have been complications because we have to exhaust these vaccines within a specific time period. What are your expectations as far as that is concerned?
I mean, it's great that we have access. It's great that we have access to the next tranche, but of course there are many more people in the nation, and so we are. You know, it will all depend on how many vaccines can be got into the country and how quickly. There are a number of people who are reaching their 12-week window. And in terms of the amount of vaccine, you know that there are 750,000 doses, which is approximately half of what we need for those who are already vaccinated. So, you know, it's great that some people are going to get vaccinated now, but we really need at least 350,000 doses to come in within the next week or so to be able to prevent missing the 12-week window for everybody else.
Okay. So in terms of ensuring that we maximize the use of the vaccines, if we realize that in certain areas people are not trooping in, those who qualify for this phase, what do? Do we redistribute? What do you propose?
I think the decision for the Ghana Health Service. I'm hopeful that people will show up. I think now there's there's less hesitancy, at least I hope. So I think that'll be for the Ghana Health Service to decide whether they prioritize, you know, if they distribute and people are not showing up, then we distribute. But I think at this point, we are, you know, we just have to wait, see what happens. But hopefully, people will show up. We don't have enough to go around anyway, so I suspect that there will be no need to redistribute and people will show up to get the shot.
Okay. Now, the Serum Institute of India has said that it would not be able to supply any other countries outside of India till the end of 2021. What do you think the implications will be on Ghana, for example, getting AstraZeneca vaccines and achieving herd immunity?
Well, I mean, it means we can no longer count on COVAX. Obviously, COVAX is getting the majority of its supply for Africa from Serum. Serum Institute is now not going to be able to deliver till the end of the year, so it means there's a significant gap the projections that we made for what we get from COVAX. So it means if we're to hit our target of 20 million by the end of this year, then we're going to have to look elsewhere. Even the vaccines we are currently administering were from COVAX and were redistributed from the DRC because they were not able to deploy quickly enough. I don't think there'll be a lot more that required redeployment. So basically, if Ghana is going to hit our target, we have to be looking beyond COVAX. We have to be looking at bilateral agreements and looking at other arrangements. We cannot depend on COVAX, I think, to be able to hit our targets this year. If we wait for COVAX, then we're probably looking at next year. Who knows if Serum Institute will be able to deliver as they hope.
Okay, and my final bit to you, Doc. The Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kumagwaje, has said that even after the second jab, we should continue wearing our masks. Just how important is it, even after the second jab, to keep on using our masks?
No, it is very important because so few of our population have been vaccinated. So if you're fully vaccinated, you are quite protected. You are probably not going to have a severe consequence of COVID infection. However, there is there is still a possibility that you could be infected and infect other people. So really wearing a mask after you've been fully vaccinated, the reason to wear a mask is to protect those around you who have not been vaccinated. And so till we hit a situation where at least 50 to 60% of our population have been fully vaccinated, we all have a responsibility to continue to care about, regardless of our own personal vaccination.
Well, Dr. Yabediako, thank you so much for giving us your time this morning, and we're grateful. All the best as you get your second shot. Now, as we wrap up on the show, we transition, of course, and talk a national science and math quiz business. Now, two boys' schools, Presec Legon and Infantipim School, have already won the titles as Greater Accra and Central Regional Champions in the Southern Zone of the National Science and Math Quiz Regional Championships. But will a girls' school win the bragging rights in the Western region? Two girls' schools, Archbishop Porter Girls and Ahantaman Girls, say they are determined to do exactly that today. However, they face stiff opposition from NSMQ giants like GSTS and others. Maxwell Agbagba has more in this report.
Students of Ghana Secondary Technical School some minutes after the draw for the Western Zone Championship. There will be 3 contests before the finals, but many national science and maths quiz enthusiasts say Contest 3, which features one-time winners in Western Region giants, Ghana Secondary Technical School, Archbishop Porter Girls, Fiasiman SHS, and Bompensina High Technical School will be very competitive. The Western region has not won any NSMQ trophy for the past 9 years. The last time it did was in 2012 when Ghana Secondary Technical School won it. Students of the school say it is time to assert their dominance as the champions of the Western Zone. Yes, head prefect of the school.
There is no doubt that we are going to win. In as much as we are not boasting, it is an undeniable fact that when it comes to Western region, the best and the best amongst the schools here, so far as science and maths quiz is concerned, is GSTS. So we can't talk much other than to promise our students that we are winning. We are winning. We are standing tall. We are winning. We are winning.
The ladies from Archbishop Porter Girls SHS say they are the best in the Western and Western North regions, but can only prove that on the stage. Yes, head prefect and contestant Maxima Danzi.
Throughout the contest, we realized that it's not just about saying it, it's much more about working harder to get the points. And we've realized our mistakes. Okay. So even though we've won, we still are doing our best to get more points at the national stage. So expect the very best from us. We will go back.
Okay, is Archbishop Porter Girls going to break the genes of a girls' school not winning the competition ever after 2 decades?
Okay, so it depends on our perseverance and our hard work. So if we put in much effort, we believe by the grace of God that we'll be able to break that.
Okay, so should we expect that?
Well, yeah, more or less.
In our hearts we must send our dear hearts. Give your best, we shall say, and our
Contest 2 will feature Ahantaman Girls, Takrade SHS, St. John's School, and BBN Senior High Technical School. The ladies from Ahantaman put up a splendid performance that earned them a qualification for the National Championship in October. They say they will win the Western Zone crown as part of their preparations for the big stage in October.
We are really, really excited. It means a lot to us because we are girls and we were competing with a lot of boys. So winning like the school, like we are the best. Like.
So what should we expect in a championship?
Like the best.
Are you winning?
Yes, we are winning. We are winning live and color. Like we are coming live and color. So they should wait for us. They should wait for us. We are coming. They should wait for us. We are coming. Yes.
The sheer excitement. I'll be rooting for the girls, though. I want some of the girls' schools to get up there. Maybe, who knows, win the national contest as well. Thank you so much for your time staying with us this wonderful Wednesday morning. Do enjoy the rest of your day. But in the meantime, we leave you with some tunes from Tim Dakolo. He calls this one Everything. This Wednesday, through this month, through this year, everything you pray for, may God grant it once it's good for you.